When you are ready for class today, let's start actually standing up. So if you have anything on your mat, maybe just clearing it to the side for now. And we're gonna start from the ground up today. So start to notice and feel the bottoms of your feet. You might even take a few steps, just kind of focusing all your awareness into the sensations there on the soles of your feet. Find a comfortable spot at some point to just pause. We'll flip the palms to face the front of your space. I think it's called anatomical pose when your hands are like this, anatomical. So maybe close your eyes here if you'd like, or just kind of blur the vision, your vision, so you're not really staring at anything in particular. Noticing the soles of your feet again, scanning your body up to the crown of your head, just noting how things are in this moment. Are there any parts of your body throughout this scan that feel spacious or constricted, energetic, or even kind of numb or blurry? We're just kind of noticing. Thinking back throughout your day up to this point, can you name or identify one or two emotions that you felt either now or throughout your day before this? If you would like to set a dedication for today's class, feel free to bring something to mind right now. And then we'll take 3 deep breaths, followed by 3 clearing breaths. So just normal but full. Breathe breath in. Normal but full breath out. 2 more just like that. Inhaling and exhaling. 1 more normal breath here. In and out. Now our clearing breaths, inhaling through your nose, pause at the top for a moment or 2, and sigh as you let the air back out. 2 more in your own timing. When you're ready, let's start to wiggle fingers and toes, blinking your eyes open. Take a look right away down at your toes. Starting at the floor here, let's just wiggle the toes a little bit. See if you can distinctly, move each of the toes, wiggling each of your toes. And then some of our toe yoga. So keeping your big toes down on the ground. Start to lift up all the other toes. And if it doesn't quite happen for you, you can always bend down and kind of pull your toes up or push your big toes down so you can guide your feet. And then lowering all your feet back down. If you want to kind of clear the palate, you can rock forward and back over the soles of your feet. And now we'll switch it up. So this time, let's see if we can lift just the big toes. And again, if you need some help with that, go ahead and bend over and make your toes feel what it's like to do it. And then go ahead and switch back and forth a couple of times if you can, lifting up the big toes and lowering Keeping your big toes planted, lifting up all the other toes. I think it helps to like spread them out as you lift them up and then lower them down. Go ahead and rock forward and back over the soles of your feet here. Now we're getting our ankles involved a little bit as we lift and lower. Alrighty, next little bit of movement for our knees. We'll just do a simple squat. So bringing your feet out to about hip width distance. You can have your hands on your hips or your hands on your legs if you want. We're just squatting down and then standing back up. We'll take it easy. Let's just do it a couple of times, squatting a little bit and then standing back up. Let's just do one more like that. Little squat and back up. All right. Feel free to widen out your stance here. I like to have my hands on my hips for this one, but we're just going to push out, stretching the hips in each direction. So just kind of pressing to one side and then the other. You can kind of tip back and forth a few times. And then we'll kind of press back through the hips and forward. You can do this kind of in a circular motion, like a slow hula hoop. Around. Make sure to switch directions at some point, taking as much time, pausing if you find any extra good spots. And then back on up. We'll get a little twist going here for the back. So letting your arms kind of dangle. Nice gentle twist. Waking up the spine. I always feel like it gets just some of those little, I want to say like bubbly kinks out of my spine. Ah, very good. All right, we like to move the spine and not only twisting side to side here, but we'll also side bend, getting the arms involved a little bit more. So at some point, starting to lift your left arm high and let your right hand kind of slide down the right leg, feeling a side bend to the right. Eventually switching sides, coming up to center, and then side bending left, reaching your right arm up and overhead. You can do that one more time on each side if you want to. And then coming back to neutral. All right, let's keep working with the arms here. Let's inhale, reach all the way up, joining your palms overhead. Exhale, bend your elbows, bring your hands down to heart center. Let's do that again. Inhale, rounding and lifting the arms up. Exhale, bending your elbows and lowering your hands down to heart center. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, lower on down. We're going to do some wrist stretches here. So it'll look different for everybody, but you might try pushing your hands down. When I get down here, my palms start kind of spreading apart, but I feel a lot more of a stretch throughout the palm and my forearm. Let me try that. You could switch and press the backs of your palms together. Press there. Switch back and forth a couple of times. It's also kind of nice to like spread the fingers out, together, out, together. And then wiggling your fingers, let your arms come down by your sides. Now for the neck, keeping the rest of the body fairly still. Let's look to the left and then look to the right. Adding the breath, let's inhale, taking that entire breath in to look over there to the left. Spend your entire exhale coming around to the right. Inhaling left. exhaling right. One last time like that. Inhale left. And exhale right. Back to center. Draw your chin back, or draw your chin down toward the center of your chest. Pausing there. Let your shoulders relax down your back. And we'll start to look up. As you look up, bring your shoulders up toward your ears with you. And then exhale, circle the shoulders down and back, lowering as you continue to look up. Hopefully feeling some nice openness through the throat and the chest. And then coming back to center. Let's get a little shake going. If there's any parts that feel like we missed them, maybe tapping or moving in any ways that feel good before we continue our flow. All right, when you're ready, come on up toward the top of your mat. We'll do some sun salutation variations as we do. First, looking back down at your feet, make sure you're feeling as strong and steady there at the base. Inhale, reaching both hands high. Exhale, baby back bend, bending the elbows and puffing the chest up. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. We'll do this a couple of times. With your inhale, sliding the hands up to the thighs, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, bending your knees a little bit more. We're going to do that again. Inhale, halfway lift, straightening the legs. Exhale, fold, bending your knees on the way down. Grabbing hold of your blocks if you have them. Let's step the right foot back first and then the left, high plank. One big breath in here, activating through the palms of your hands and fingertips. Exhale, lower your knees to the floor. Step your hands to the floor as well. Cat and cow. Inhale, belly lowers, gaze and tailbone lift, cow pose. Exhale, cat, rounding up through your spine, tucking your chin and tailbone. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Couple more rounds, inhaling to cow. Exhaling, cat. Let's thread the needle next, bringing your left hand a little closer toward the center of your mat. With a big inhale, open your right arm up toward the sky, upward twist. Stay here for a few breaths as you circle out your right wrist. Maybe circle out your right shoulder. Big arm circles here in either directions. Notice how much your core is working here. And with an exhale, let's thread the needle, dipping that right arm down and through. And resting your right shoulder and your right side of your head on the floor or props. Let your left hand find a supportive place to be, maybe up toward the top of your mat, or pressing into the mat by your face. Send your awareness and your breath to the right shoulder and right shoulder blade. Maybe even leaning into the right shoulder a little bit more, so long as it feels like a nice stretch. Eventually, planting your left hand by your face, press your way all the way up and reach your right arm high. And then we'll reset, bringing the right hand down somewhere a little bit closer towards center. Taking an inhale as you start to upward twist toward the left. Establish your flowing pace of breath here as you circle out your left wrist, maybe your left shoulder with some arm circles, both ways. And eventually taking a breath in to prepare, and an exhale to thread the needle, dipping the left arm down and through, coming to the left side of your head, then the left shoulder. Find a supportive place to plant your right hand, directing your awareness and breath to the left shoulder blade. And then planting your right hand back by your face, press your way on up, reaching your left hand high once more, and then lower on down. Let's meet up in extended child's pose, bringing your knees out wide and touching the big toes. Maybe coming down to the forearms, or walking your hands out toward the top of your mat and then lowering your head and heart toward the ground. Taking a few more breaths here. Eventually use an inhale to rise back up to tabletop. And then exhale as you lower your chest down to the floor. We'll go for our open wing pose next, opening that shoulder in the opposite direction that we did in thread the needle. So let's start reaching the right hand out toward the right side. Bending both knees so your feet are hanging out in the air behind you. And then press into your left hand as you turn yourself onto your right side. It might feel nice to have a block underneath your head or some support. Stretching that front side of the shoulder this time. You could continue this twisting, this upward twisting by placing your left foot on the floor or on your right foot, opening that left knee up high. And then we'll switch sides. Take your sweet time. Coming back to center. This time the left arm goes out wide to the left side. Right hand plants on the floor. Let's bend the knees and start to roll onto the left side, opening through the front side of the left shoulder. Following your own body's cues here eventually. Coming back to the center. Press both feet, the tops of both feet down into the mat. Slide your hands next to either side of your chest, pulling your shoulder blades together behind you. Inhale, rise up to your baby cobra, lifting your head and heart, maybe coming to the fingertips. exhale, lower back down. Do that a couple of times. Inhale, rising up to your baby cobra, maybe coming to fingertips. And exhale, lower. Just one more like that. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, lower down. Take a moment in crocodile pose, stacking your hands or your fists beneath your forehead and letting your heels sway out to the sides. Maybe sighing here or renewing your intention to yourself. All right, let's start to come back up to tabletop. Grab your blocks if they're close by. And we'll come to downward dog. Planting the hands first, curling your toes under, and then lifting through the tailbone as you straighten or almost straighten your legs. Press your hands into the floor or blocks so you're really reaching through your shoulders so your biceps are coming up toward your ears. And your shoulder blades are kind of reaching as well. Big breath in, rise to your tippy toes. Big breath out, lower your heels toward the floor. Breathing in, rising up. Exhaling to lower. All right, bending your knees, look up toward the top of your mat, but with your exhale, walk your hands to the back of your mat so you end up in a forward fold at the back. Inhale, halfway lift, sliding the hands back up to the thighs. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Join hands overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. If you ever get dizzy or lightheaded, just try tucking your chin a little bit more and doubling down on your breath. Take a few moments here, pressing your thumbs into the center of the chest. See if you can feel your heartbeat. Just spend a few moments here noticing. Let's inhale through the nose. Sigh on the way out. Inhale, reaching hands high. Exhale, fold, and walk your way out to a downward dog. So hands on the blocks if you're using them. Big breath in here and out. Your choice here, maybe lifting the right foot, coming to three-legged down dog. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath in. We're preparing to step forward. Exhale. Step just the right foot forward if you can, giving it a little bit of help on the way up. Lower your left knee down to the mat. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, open arm twist to the right. That left arm is reaching forward. The right arm is reaching back. Breath in and out. Inhale, come back to center, unwind. Exhale, bringing hands down to the floor or blocks. Step your left foot to the top of your mat. Forward fold at the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, joining hands overhead. Exhale, hands come down to heart center, Samastitihi, equal standing pose. Inhale, hands go high. Exhale, baby back bend. Bending your elbows, puffing the chest up. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step one foot back first and then the other, high plank. Breathing in. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, option to lift the left foot high, three-legged down dog. Exhale. Breathing in and out. Now we're preparing. Inhale, exhale, step just the left foot forward, giving it some help and lowering your right knee down to the mat. Help that left foot up toward the top of your mat, however you need to. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, open arm twist to the left. Breathing in and out. Inhale, unwind, come back to center. Exhale, hands come down to blocks. Curl your right toes under, pick up your right knee, step your left foot back to your high plank. Then go ahead and lower down to your knees and sit to either side. We'll straighten the left leg out, bend your right knee. So here we go. Sitting up nice and tall here. We're going for a little stretch through the inner left thigh. So for me, I'm like holding on to my my right leg quite a bit and sitting up tall. That kind of activates this stretch through the inner left thigh. You could try moving your left foot or kind of steering your left leg in the hip joint here, or just sitting up tall. And then we'll twist away from the straight leg or to the right, continuing to feel sensation or stretch through that left thigh, inner thigh, intercostal muscles. Or no, not intercostals. No. Intercostals are between the ribs. It's the adductors. That's it. And then come on back to center. Let's switch it out right away. Bringing the right leg out and bending the left knee. Holding onto your left leg here as you sit up nice and tall and figure out how to get that sensation there, stretching through the inner right thigh this time. Maybe bringing your right leg out and in a couple times. And eventually twisting away from the straight leg or to the left. Continuing to zero in on sensation to the adductors on the right thigh. And back to center. Let's let both legs go out long. We'll go through our balancing cosmic egg next. So bending your knees and sitting up on or just slightly behind the sitting bones there. So leaning back a little bit. Eventually, let's try to lift one foot off of the floor and maybe the other, finding that balance point. Playing with this. If you want to amp it up and make things harder, you could let go with your hands for a moment or two at a time. You could extend your legs into boat pose. Just trying to keep Nice tall spine, however you can. If it feels too easy today, you could destabilize yourself with a little extra wobble. Eventually, we're heading down to the floor, so whenever you are ready, go ahead, make your descent. Eventually reaching into a long body stretch, fingers and toes reaching in opposite directions. All right, let's bend the knees. Start to hug just the right knee in toward your chest here, holding onto your shin or your thigh. We're going to start to lift and straighten that left leg. And then we'll lower it right away, keeping it straight and pulling, kind of pushing your heel out and then pulling your left toes towards your body. And we're lowering on down. You can touch down or continue to keep your left foot lifted, and then we're going to switch. So we'll send the right leg up high and hug the left knee in toward the chest. And then lower your right leg down, keeping it straight, flexing, pulling your toes back towards your body. Go ahead and keep going a couple of times, switching. It's a little bit of a brain teaser to switch and lift at the same time. But we know brain teasers are extra good for our body and our minds and that connection between the two. Whenever you feel that you've had quite enough, let's hug both knees in toward the chest and massage the sacrum with a little bit of pressure there, circling your knees around, pressure there at the low back, maybe a little side to side. And one more time, long body stretch, opening the hips back up, reaching toes and fingers in opposite directions here. And if there are any final movements, poses, or stretches that you are wanting before our final rest today, go ahead and move through those now. Otherwise, when you're ready, get comfy, maybe grabbing a pillow or a bolster or a blanket, or you could turn the light off. Noticing your heartbeat if you can sense that. Let a growing sense of relief and ease fill your awareness. See if you can convince any tight muscles to soften and release even just a little bit more. Let your mouth rest. Let your cheeks rest. All of the muscles around your right eye softening. And all the muscles around your left eye. Unfurrowing the eyebrows. Smoothing out the forehead. A growing sense of relaxation through the scalp, the back of your neck, throat, taking a moment here at throat center, breathing and clearing any blocks to your authentic voice or your authentic expression. Calling back your energy here, your voice, the power in your words. Breathing to release any words not meant to be said out loud, or anything that you feel bad for saying. Let yourself release some weight of that, knowing that you're human. Breathing and in your awareness here at throat center, building the courage it takes to speak with that authentic voice of yours. And below throat center there, the heart center. Breathing to strengthen in love, strengthen in your ability to feel and show compassion for others. Breathing here to release any bits of heartache, coming down to the solar plexus between the navel and the rib cage. Breathing here to strengthen your sense of self. Building courage to fulfill or step into a role that is more closer to the real you and less releasing others' expectations, society's expectations, even religious expectations, just releasing anything that's been put upon you that limits your ability to feel free to be yourself. Breathing there at the solar plexus, building that fire, sense of fiery strength within. Down to the sacral chakra, a few inches below the navel, center for creativity and creation. Breathing here to awaken creativity in your life. Breathing here to soften your grips on the way things have always been and seeing where or if there might be room to invite new ways of being in. And root chakra, root center at the base of the spine. Breathing here to strengthen your own sense of trust with yourself, sense of security. Breathing here to release any unnecessary fear. Bring your awareness up to third eye center, just between and above the eyebrows. Letting the flow of breath revitalize, clear knowing. May you see things with clarity and seek truth. And finally up to crown center. Some say it's just a few inches above the actual top of your head. Some people like to sense or feel that as if it was even a crown placed on top of your head. So just see what resonates. And as you're aware of this space, see if you can sense or imagine some kind of connection to divinity or connection to others outside of yourself, your connection to everything around you. And if possible, becoming aware of your entire body, all of the energy centers. Breathing here to help your body find its balance. Each part doing its part generously and in collaboration with all the other systems of your body. Resting here for a few more breaths. See if you can create a sense of unity. When you're ready, maybe deepening your breath or even taking a sigh. Wiggling fingers and toes, there's no rush. Eventually making your way home to either side. Nice and slow, fetal position, tucking the knees in slightly. Take one or two full rounds of breath here, honoring the pause. Practicing not being in a rush. And then pressing your way up to a seat. Let's join hands at heart center now. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Let's bring thumbs up to third eye center here. Remembering that clear clear knowing here at third center. And together we'll seal our class in now with a bow forward. Peace. Thank you, everyone.